Particularly poignant moment for Simone. Despite finding love, finding this deep sense of belonging with Malcolm and her team.
Right, which sounds like what she'd want.
You'd think. But she's suddenly overwhelmed by this profound sense of panic. Just sheer panic at the idea of permanence, of commitment. The source material captures the thought so vividly, it really hits hard. It says,
welcome to Witter, Who Has Time to Read, the podcast that brings deep dives for busy minds. You're listening to our Indie Ink Spotlight series, where we lift up bold voices and unsung stories from the world of independent authors. Join our AI hosts, Jane and Dane, as they explore featured works that deserve the mic. From hidden gems to raw revelations, these are the stories that move beneath the mainstream. Who has time to read? You do, with Witter.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Deep Dive.
great to be here.
Today, we're kicking off something really special. It's our Indie Ink Spotlight. This is where we get to celebrate and, amplify some of the boldest, most compelling voices coming out of the independent writing community.
Love this segment.
Me too. And believe me, the story we're exploring today is, well, it's a truly captivating one.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
We are taking a deep dive into Echoes, the Affinity Saga Book 2. It's by the remarkable Eddie Dee Williams.
Ah, okay. Book 2.
Exactly. And this isn't just like a straightforward power and heroics kind of tale. It's a really profound journey. It plunges deep into what it genuinely means to belong, especially when your very nature kind of sets you apart.
Right, that feeling of otherness.
Totally. And how the reverberations, the echoes of your past just relentlessly demand to be heard.
Yeah, that sounds intense. So our mission today for you listening is really to guide you through this intricate and really rich world that Eddie Dee Williams has meticulously crafted.
Yeah.
We'll be pulling out those crucial insights, those powerful emotional anchors that I think make this series so utterly compelling. And we'll try to unpack the author's unique journey a bit too and, the heart of his storytelling.
And like you said, it's book 2. So just to give everyone some context, Echoes follows the Affinity Theory, the Affinity Saga Book 1.
Right, the first one.
And that one was actually a first-place winner, Fantasy Superheroes at the Book Fest, Spring 2025.
Wow, okay. So critically acclaimed already. That sets a high bar.
It really does. So the stage is definitely set for something special here with Echoes.
So who's the author? Tell us about Eddie Dee Williams.
Okay, so Eddie Dee Williams, he's a born and bred native of Valdosta, Georgia.
Okay.
Describes himself as a devoted Christian, a husband, father to 2 daughters, and I love this bit, a babysitter to his daughter's dogs.
That definitely sounds grounded.
It does. He feels incredibly grounded in his reality, and you can sort of sense that foundation in his writing, I think.
And that grounded reality, it genuinely informs his creative output. It does in really fascinating ways.
How so?
Well, Eddie Dee Williams isn't just a storyteller. He actually works as a licensed marriage and family therapist.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And what's truly compelling here is how his deep understanding of relationships, of interpersonal dynamics, all that stuff, combined with his faith, serves as such rich inspiration. You can feel it in the emotional and intellectual threads he weaves into the narratives. Just imagine the layers there. Communication, conflict resolution, the psychology of connection. It all comes from that professional background.
That makes so much sense. You'd see that in how characters interact, maybe.
Exactly. You see these influences manifest in how his characters navigate trust, or how they manage team conflicts, or even grapple with personal identity when their power set them apart. And his pop culture inspirations are just as diverse and, frankly, pretty ingenious.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Everything from, the fast-paced, intricate plots of the Mission Impossible series, the vibrant, team-centric action of Power Rangers.
Power Rangers, okay.
To the huge narratives of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the character-driven humor of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Love that show.
And even the clever planning of the Ocean's 11 series. It's this blend, It creates something genuinely fresh and dynamic.
Wow, that's quite a mix. Power Rangers and Ocean's 11 in the same inspiration list.
Right, but it works.
It's remarkable how his professional insights blend so seamlessly with his love for these dynamic narratives. And like we said, Echoes is book 2.
Right.
But we definitely encourage you, if this sounds interesting, explore the first book too, The Affinity Theory. It came out October 2024.
Definitely good to start at the beginning, get the full context.
Yeah, get the whole saga.
And what's particularly striking, and honestly it's a refreshing perspective from the author himself, is his approach to character development. He made a point of distinguishing his work from, say, typical YA fiction. I think this quote really captures it. He said, "I made my people grown, so a lot of that jealousy, envy type stuff, trying to one-up people, ain't nobody got time for that. We're working a job, we're getting paid, we're getting our bills paid. These are grown folk. This isn't a coming-of-age story at all."
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Grown folk. That really stands out, doesn't it?
It does.
It sets such a unique tone for a superhero story. It's not teenagers figuring out powers and crushes.
Exactly.
It's adults with powers facing adult problems.
Yeah.
What kind of impact does that have on the narrative, do you think, the conflicts?
Oh, it's profound. By focusing on grown folk, Williams, instantly raises the stakes beyond typical coming-of-age angst.
Right.
His characters grapple with the real weight of responsibility that comes with having extraordinary abilities. They deal with the complexities of mature relationships, the moral ambiguities of leadership, sacrifice. Their problems are about maintaining a city, navigating tricky political landscapes, dealing with consequences of past choices, not just discovering who they are. It really grounds the fantastic in something deeply relatable and, well, mature.
I love that description. Grounding the fantastic in something relatable. Okay, let's set the stage properly for Echoes. If you're a fan of those big ensemble superhero narratives, like X-Men, the Avengers,
yeah,
but maybe you also crave that emotional depth, the interpersonal complexity you find in series like, say, Twilight.
Oh, okay. Interesting comparison.
Then Echoes delivers this really unique fusion. You're transported to Chris City. It's a metropolis protected by this incredible team of powered individuals. They're called the Elite.
The city's champions.
Exactly.
But what's truly compelling, I think, is the foundational conflict woven throughout the narrative. There's this deep-seated tension between the powered and the unpowered citizens of Crit City. This isn't just background noise. It's a simmering political and social struggle. And it gets brought right to a head by political maneuvering around something called Proposition 9, or sometimes it's called Proposition F.
Okay, what does that do?
Basically, it seeks to grant powered individuals the right to run for public office.
Ah, okay. Big implications.
Huge. And the book explores, with remarkable impartiality, I should say, how this whole political debate ignites deeper questions. Civil rights, power dynamics, societal biases. It forces Crit City to confront its deepest fears and prejudices. It's really well done.
And within the Elite themselves, we meet some incredibly compelling characters, right?
Definitely.
There's Simone, who's also known as Starburst, and Malcolm, among others. And they aren't just heroes with cool powers. They're individuals grappling with really complex relationships, internal struggles, intricate team dynamics.
Yeah, their personal lives are totally interwoven with their public duties. Adds layers of relatability.
For sure. And the author also powerfully depicts the crucial role of the intelligence division.
Ah, yes, the support team.
But they're more than just support, right? The author describes them as the Elite's eyes, ears, back, front, sides, top, bottom, ins, and outs.
Wow, that's comprehensive.
Yeah, they're this indispensable tactical and data analysis hub. Vital support behind the scenes.
That level of behind-the-scenes strategy, it ensures the heroes aren't just reacting, right? They're informed.
Exactly. Which probably leads to even more complex ethical dilemmas for them.
Absolutely. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the plot of Echoes is really driven by these escalating terrorist attacks across Crit City.
Right, you mentioned that.
Yeah, hitting everything
right.
from the Mega Mall to the Senate building. Serious stuff. And these attacks are orchestrated by dangerous new extremist groups, notably the Outliers, or sometimes called the Elements.
Okay, who are they?
They seem to represent a kind of radical fringe of the unpowered population reacting against the powered.
Got it.
And they're led by this mysterious figure, the Emulator.
Ooh, sounds ominous.
Very. Masterminds attacks with chilling precision. But what's particularly captivating, and this is where it gets personal, the Emulator is revealed to have this surprising, deep connection to Simone's past, a guy named Jason Xavier.
Oh, wow. Okay, so the past echoing into the present. Literally.
Exactly. It dramatically raises the personal stakes for Simone and the entire team. So the book truly explores these profound emotional questions: trust within a team under extreme pressure, the heavy weight of responsibility, and that deeply human struggle, Personal freedom versus the comfort and the demands of commitment. These huge external threats force the characters to confront their deepest fears, reevaluate their core relationships. It makes the internal journey just as compelling as the external battles.
It's that rich human experience, those internal battles, that really anchor this high-octane story. It's not just about the explosion.
Not at all.
And speaking of emotional anchors, there's a standout moment in Echoes that really resonated with me. It reveals this universal truth about connection and self. It just transcends the whole superhero genre.
I think I know the one you mean. Is it Simone's internal struggle?
Yes. Tell us about it.
Okay, so there's this particularly poignant moment for Simone. Despite finding love, finding this deep sense of belonging with Malcolm and her team.
Right, which sounds like what she'd want.
You'd think. But she's suddenly overwhelmed by this profound sense of panic. Just sheer panic at the idea of permanence, of commitment. The source material captures the thought so vividly, it really hits hard. It says, she felt this incredible urge to blast off into the night sky and run away.
Wow.
Believing that Malcolm and the company were tethering her to permanence, and she was suddenly unclear whether commitment was something she could commit to.
Wow, that moment is so impactful.
Isn't it?
Because it just perfectly captures that deeply human conflict, doesn't it? Between wanting freedom, like unbounded possibility, and the real comfort, but also the undeniable demands of connection.
Of commitment.
Makes a superhuman character feel incredibly relatable.
Totally. It shows that even with extraordinary powers, the most profound challenges, the biggest battles, often happen right inside the human heart.
Dealing with those relatable vulnerabilities.
It's not just about stopping the villain. It's about confronting your own deepest fears. It's powerful stuff.
Yeah. And the lingering feeling, after you finish Echoes, it's this powerful fusion. High-stakes superhero action, yes, but also that profound personal drama. The book leaves you with this sense that the echoes from past decisions, relationships, societal conflicts, they aren't just faint memories. They're active forces, constantly reverberating into the characters' present choices, demanding they confront who they truly are.
That's a great way to put it.
It's a powerful exploration of how our history shapes our present and how we, grapple with those reverberations. Absolutely. You are truly immersed in this vibrant, pulsing world. But even the most powerful individuals are grappling with very familiar human questions. Love, loyalty, finding their true place.
In a complex society, yeah.
It genuinely leaves you eagerly anticipating the next installment, but also just pondering the nuances of belonging and identity in your own life.
Yeah, it sticks with you.
It really does. Which leads us perfectly to our reflective question for you today. One that, echoes the core dilemma within the pages of Echoes.
Okay, let's hear it.
In your own life, when does that desire for freedom, for independence, truly collide with the comfort and the demands of commitment? And how do you choose to navigate that tension?
Ooh, that's a deep one.
Yeah, something to think about long after this deep dive is over.
Definitely.
Well, we really hope you enjoyed this deep dive into Echoes, the Affinity Saga Book 2 by Eddie Dee Williams.
Such a great spotlight.
And the timing couldn't be better. This book is actually launching this weekend.
Oh, perfect. Hot off the press.
Exactly. So it's the perfect time to dive in and experience this incredible story for yourself. And remember, you can also check out the first book, The Affinity Theory, to catch up on the whole saga.
Definitely worth it. And this really highlights the significance, I think, of independent authors like Eddie Dee Williams and the vibrant community that supports them.
So true.
We found out, looking through the author's acknowledgments, he specifically praises his editor, Nehemiah Crawford, get this, whom he actually met on TikTok.
No way. That's amazing.
Right. And a whole host of dedicated book influencers who helped amplify his work.
It's fantastic.
It's just a wonderful illustration of the power of community in the independent publishing world. How collaboration and genuine support can truly catapult a story, bring these unique voices forward.
That is exactly what we love to see. And speaking of which, if you listening are an independent or debut author and you're crafting bold, thoughtful stories, we would absolutely love to hear from you. Our Indie Ink Spotlight series was built specifically to amplify voices just like yours.
How do people submit?
Submitting is super easy. Just email us. The address is witterpodcast@gmail.com. That's WHHITTER podcast@gmail.oi. Put community exchange in the subject line. We genuinely can't wait to read what you've created.
Awesome. And maybe a final thought, inspired by the author himself.
Please.
Eddie Dee Williams himself often says something that resonates really deeply with the themes and echoes. He says, if you can't see the good, be the good.
Powerful words to live by.
Indeed.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive today.
My pleasure.
Until next time, keep reading, keep exploring,